All new documents show even more people inside the Biden White House raised concerns about what was actually going on. The Oversight Project has obtained documents from the DOJ showing that former Assistant Deputy Attorney General Bradley Weinsheimer had raised concerns about Biden's slew of term and pardons for federal convicts. He sent an email to Biden staffers on the 18th of this year in January saying, quote, the White House has described those who received commutations as people convicted of nonviolent drug offenses. I think you should stop saying that because it is untrue, or at least misleading. He also said, quote, even with the exceedingly limited review we were permitted to do of the individuals we believed you might be considering for commutation, we initially identified 19 that were highly problematic, yet those pardons went through anyway. Elizabeth, this is fascinating, especially this is Biden's own DOJ who is raising these concerns. And to be clear here, they talked about the multitude of victims' families that were giving statements and reaching out to the DOJ and say, you can't let these people go. We're talking about someone that was responsible for the murder of a police officer, drug trafficking. These 19 pardons were very bad criminals, and they're now out on the streets and free and pardoned by Joe Biden or whoever did the pardon.
I was going to say whoever did them, but we're also finding out about it how many months later. That's the true problem, right? I've watched the media cover President Trump as I've worked for him since 2016. They don't miss anything, right? If he eats the wrong way, they let us know about it. And yet when Joe Biden is pardoning these individuals, no one's looking into it. No one's letting the American people know because the media at that point is so upset that Donald Trump is about to take back that Oval Office seat. And that's the real problem. It's that we have a media that doesn't actually advocate for the American people. They advocate for the politicians that they root for.
I'm glad you brought up the media because James Freeman, our colleague here, he has a great piece out this morning about CBS and will they release the Biden tapes. And John, this stems from that 2023 interview. This was Scott Pelley, where we now have learned that, according to the reporting, this is actually a statement from Shari Redstone herself, that basically that Scott Pelley noticed how he was getting lost, he was confused, he was sleepy, but they didn't report any of that in the interview, and they didn't broadcast any of that in the interview. And so James Freeman says footage from that interview, basically, he says, helped persuade the network's owner to settle with President Trump. And this is the multi-million-dollar settlement that just happened between CBS and Trump.
Maybe CBS should have been called not CBS, but TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, okay? They'll do anything in their power to prevent Donald Trump from assuming the presidency. And this is just another example of this. It perhaps comes at no surprise to anybody that CBS or any of the major legacy networks would be so politically biased. And the other thing, we're touching upon that matter regarding to the commutation of prison sentences for these criminals, but that's very much in keeping with the Democratic Party's very, very soft stance on crime. My goodness, we saw that in the party's reaction to Trump's clampdown on crime in Washington, D.C., and we've seen that also in state and local jurisdictions regarding how the Democratic Party wants to go through what they call bail reform, reduced bails that people convicted of crimes have to pay.
Well, these people were convicted of crimes and they were pardoned by Biden's DOJ. And Jonathan Fahey, who's a frequent guest panelist on this show, he was representing some of the families that were up in arms about these pardons really quick. But, back to the CBS issue, because you brought up the media, Elizabeth. A former CBS reporter, this is Catherine Herridge, she said last year I called for more transparency at 60 Minutes about its October 23 interview with President Biden. They didn't share any of this with their viewers. They held back the information.
Yeah, and again, it's because they had a horse in the race, right? They knew that an election was coming up, and their interest at that point was not bringing the facts to the American people. It wasn't letting them see exactly the state of Joe Biden, the state of Kamala Harris. Can she go on and lead this country? They wanted them to look good and Donald Trump to look bad, and they would do whatever it took, even against their own moral standards, to make that happen.
They certainly did. And real quick, John.
Okay, and setting aside moral standards, what about business standards?
Journalistic standards.
CBS is trying to make a profit. It's trying to make money. Why go out of their way to alienate half of the American audience? This is insane. Where are the board of directors? Where's top management? Why aren't they speaking about this matter?
Yeah.
I can't figure this out at all.
Well, the entire corporate structure above them has now been changed because of the merger. So we'll see where all of that goes, that entire company.